The RTX 5090 has arrived, and it does not get faster than this card, promising to run the most graphically demanding games at 4K resolution with massive frame rates. And today we're going to test that out, but we're doing so in an ITX build. A complete RTX 5090 system that is nearly smaller than the box that this card arrives in. And with this PC, there are no problems at all with cooling, despite how tiny this rig is. This is all possible thanks to this chassis, the meshless design MD280. What allows this case to handle the temps of the most powerful GPU and CPU combos is this crossflow fan. It's a long cylindrical fan that stretches all the way across the body, pulling cold air through the 280mm radiator while also pulling hot air off the GPU, expelling out through the back of the case. Despite it being the only fan in this build, it's incredibly powerful, and I think it's a massive advancement in ITX cooling. Let's go through the build process, starting with the CPU. I will be installing the best gaming chip currently on the market, the AMD Ryzen 7 9800X 3D. This chassis fits a 280mm radiator, something usually impossible for cases of this size. So we are free to select a very powerful CPU. Normally I would have to go with a low profile air cooler for an ITX rig, which can't compete with a liquid cooler. This CPU has been plugged into the ROG Strix X870 with 64GB of DDR5 RAM and a 4TB M.2 drive. Now for the power supply, I've got the ROG Loki 1200W SFX, and for the cooler I've got the NZXT Kraken 280. A super quiet liquid cooler with an LCD screen. Now it's time to install the GPU, the ROG Astral RTX 5090. This model overtakes the Strix as the top ASUS graphics card, providing the best air cooling solution, a premium set of materials, and a 4-fan arrangement, ideal for this mini PC. With the build now complete, let's check out the thermals. I'm going to run Thermark, which essentially will simulate a worst case scenario for the RTX 5090. After 15 minutes of 4K, max GPU temps were 52 degrees, and the average was 47. This is so good for an intensive stress. Now I can test the CPU with multi-core Cinebench, and towards the end of this test, I'm seeing max CPU temps of 83 degrees with an average of 70. But you guys aren't going to be running stress tests, so let's jump into some games to see what kind of FPS this thing can kick out, starting with Fortnite. This card has only been out 2 weeks, and part of this GPU's improved performance over the previous gen cards is thanks to the new AI frame gen tech from DLSS 4, something only present on 75 games, which Fortnite is not one of. However, this card is still incredibly powerful without AI. The visual fidelity is stunning, and at 4K epic settings, we're averaging about 160 FPS. Now for an esports game that does have DLSS 4 as of today, Marvel Rivals. This is a solid title, but it's badly optimized. The developers seem to have focused more on character skins than pure performance metrics. However, with DLSS 4 on, there's a notable uptick in FPS. At 4K with maximum settings, we're averaging 130. Now we get to see the difference with DLSS 4 off. Back at native, frames have dropped to around 90 FPS. For my eyes, when DLSS 4 was on before with extra AI frames, the gameplay did feel a touch smoother, and I can't observe any negative optical differences. So far, I'm a fan of this new frame gen tech. Now for another very popular title that doesn't have DLSS 4 currently. COD Warzone. Let's see what the raw performance of this card is like. Still at maximum settings and at native, so no extra AI frames, this new card in this tiny PC is pumping out 130 FPS. If you're interested in this ITX PC, you can check this rig out on our website today, available as a pre-built gaming PC. But thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.